Newsbrief. Disruptor Beam, the mobile game developer behind the likes of Game of Thrones Ascent and Star Trek Timelines, has announced that it will be commercializing a live operations platform it calls the Disruptor Engine. It's only lightly mentioned in a recent press release from the company, but one that will see the Disruptor Engine tools opened up for the use of external developers. Though the studio has yet to offer information on pricing, a timeline on its release quite yet, Disruptor Beam describes the tool as a platform for operating live mobile games and says that it offers devs a way to pursue more efficient development and monetization through the platform's commerce, identity, social, analytics, and live operations capabilities. Over the past several years, Disruptor Beam has made substantial investments in our game platform, which has led to dramatic improvements in our time to market and ability to operate games profitably, reads the statement from Disruptor Beam CEO and founder John Randolph. We are now ready to start turning those investments into solutions for others looking for an advantage in launching and operating mobile games. Another year, another GD commented on. It's an old adage that while you are buried in Moscow Center, you are often missing more things at the show that people at home are learning while streaming or on social media. From career panels to procedural generation, the DA's wide array of talks was best captured by the developers, who showed up learned from each other's work. So if you are still catching up on your conference crowd, we at Gamasutra have decided to help you out by cataloging some of the most informative live tweeting at DD 2019. Be sure to click on each individual tweet to see their expanded threads. The devil you know may cry. Frequent Gamasutra contributor Brandon Sheffield, but still and ED, with loads of great live tweets you should take a look at. But we wanted to stop and highlight his tweets about Thursday's post-mortem of the recently released Devil May Cry 5 by game director Hideaki Itsuno. Let's see an emotion pic. Twitter, VP5 Itsuno's talk moved from high-level to intensely practical, explaining how game designers can work backwards from emotional experiences in order to create a framework for great gameplay. While part of his talk dug into some of the narrative arcs for characters like Nero and Dante, he also stopped to compare the game design of Devil May Cry 5 with its predecessor for the audience's benefit. Here's how that looks in Devil May Cry 5 versus 4. No more single frames of success. Success is scaled. Pick. Twitter. Have me at pure. Shout. Shout. Let it all out. Sarah Elmler, anthem voice actor, and co-organizer of Game Dev World, spent this year's BD live tweeting sessions that cover both facets of her career, voice-driven lines, and social activism in the games industry. If you are involved in either world, or both, you can jump by her Twitter feed for a peek at some of the slides from talks that covered the writing of Lord SHNXX in Destiny 2. The idea writing Lord SHNXX Destiny talk. Look at this lovely evolution. Went from dry, slightly chastising announcer to supportive space dad, leveraging at real Lenny Thomas Lenny James, Adam Shakespearean cred, lavishing player W praise, other direct engagement pick. Twitter. 19DJZD9W, or you can review her live tweets of the Game Workers Unite Unionization panel that covered the challenges of organizing unions in a tech industry world. Even campuses are experiencing collective action now. Silicon Valley Rising shuttle bus workers, cafeteria workers, etc. were able to come together. BC other workers offered solidarity and resources. Weather the Storm, Weather Factory co-founder Lottie Bevan, left us with two helpful live tweets from DD this year. First, she managed to sum up Jason Rora's Indie Apocalypse session in one helpful tweet that frankly made it easier for this particular writer to discuss at DD. So at Pass on Rora's Indie Apocalypse, OK was like a math teacher, explaining an impossible problem into something very clear. Indie Apocalypse shifted from consumable games, one-shot experiences, to infinite unique situation generators. Explains a lot about CS. And second, she was able to leave tweet her partner in game development, crime. The Lexus Kennedy's talk about the making and selling of Cultist Simulator. Lean into your limitations as an indie. Be distinctive. G. Cultist's kid art, thanks at engagements, which catches the eye, evokes emotions and can be copied, because it's its own thing, for relatively cheap, allowing us to do a lot with only a little pound. Kitty D19. Co-op mode. Naomi Clark, game design professor at the New Game Center, offered up a third live tweet of DDE's panel on how co-op structures can be good for game developers. But this was not the only appearance of co-ops at DD. Now at Cleedy continues with co-ops 101, traditionally associated with industrial, craft and agricultural labor, not startup businesses, but there's no reason why they should not be. Beyond some companies' reluctance to be egalitarian. Twitter, CTALCZCHB. During the dead cells post-mortem, Sebastian Bernard made a point to call out how Motion Twins co-op status helped support new team members, and made everyone feel empowered in the decision-making process. From our own coverage, some context for how Motion Twin makes decisions. Bernard stops to call out how equal pay helps newcomers feel empowered quickly. DD19 pick. Twitter, ComX0950. Cursed images. Ubisoft team, led game designer is England spans Harry DD doing some exceptional live tweeting. But with D like here to highlight her coverage of the unspeakable horrors that lie beneath your game design, not the definition. Pick. Twitter, Com89ZIUIBH8W. England also live tweeted sessions, like a intolerable post-mortem, which broke down everything from the mechanics that were removed from the final game, and the prototypes that made the game clean, simple, and easy to read. Prototypes gave them an understanding of why genre conventions existed, and a really solid understanding of what worked and did not work. Turned out that telegraphed attacks was the biggest influence on design. Breaks a lot if tactics systems. Pick. Twitter, Com12YLH1U3S. Tooting our own horn. Lastly, we'd be remiss if we did not mention our own live tweeting at the show done by yours truly. We tried to succinctly break down a few talks we could not get to in our main coverage, including talks about the animation of the key villain in Marvel's Spider-Man. Math is hard. Here's some simple code that replicates the math-driving oxlims. DD19 pick. Twitter, ComOfFslov. To the design and eye logic that gave birth to Atreus in God of War. By aligning Atreus' actions to the players, he felt like a better teammate. DD19 pick. Twitter, ComAJMZJHWFHR. We covered how the developers of Subnautica figured out how to make game development itself part of the game product. Here's a loop that will probably matter for many developers today. DD19 pick. Twitter, ComM5TLS88LH. And Becca Saltzman's tips for pitching to publishers like Finji. What should be in your game's screenshot? Twitter, ComUWZYMPAI. Oh, and before you go, Gamasutra and DD Bossman, Simon Carlis, out some very interesting photos of Gabe Newell during Valve's talk about brain interfaces from this year. There are multiple good Gabe Gap slides in this otherwise serious Sandbinder talk. He recognizes that the access to your brain may not be a socially acceptable interface. DD19 Pink. Twitter. GPND well CP1. Gamasutra and DD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. At the 2019 Game Developers Conference, you can look forward to an array of talks from speakers across the video game industry. During the week, you will hear from industry legends, niche experts, and amazing advocates, many of whom will want to learn about you and your work as much as you do theirs. If you are invested in the future of horror games, you will be glad to know so is Mason Smith.